Welcome students to this class on E-Pathasala. The topic we are going to discuss today is about probiotics. You might have or may not have heard about it. Pro means for and bios means life. According to WHO, probiotics are live microorganisms which, when administered in adequate amounts, confer a health benefit on the host. You may think that food means it doesn't have any live items, but here it is a food which has live microorganisms. For example, you take curd. Curd is a fermented product which when you take, you get the live microorganisms inside your system, and those live microorganisms can increase the amount of microbiota in your system. So the first time the word probiotics was coined by Lilly and Stinwell in 1965. So from then on we have been learning a lot about it. Though we are all Tamilians and we know that we have to take curd, we do not know that curd, because it's fermented, it has so much of live microorganisms. These live microorganisms, when they get into our system, they will help in the increasing of the microbiota inside our system, which helps to have good gut health. You should understand, girls, that the gut is one large area which is prone to any infection. Even if you have a small wound on your finger or in your hand, you immediately have some antibiotic on it and you have a plaster. But look at your mouth, it's so big. And you keep it open so many times during talking, when you eat, and so many microorganisms get inside your system, and therefore the gut is the most vulnerable part of your body that can be infected. So that has to be maintained in good health. And to maintain gut health, the only thing that you can do is take adequate amount of probiotics. So today we are going to learn about probiotics, which are pro, which is for, and bios means life. So we will be discussing about the various microorganisms that give beneficial effect in our system, and we are going to study the various food sources that are rich in probiotics. So probiotics is the topic we are going to discuss today. So we will see what are the health benefits of probiotics. Good health. How can we make a difference between good health and bad health? Good health is mainly possible only when you have good gut health. That is adequate amount of probiotics consisting of good fungi and good bacteria. So what are probiotics? Probiotics are sometimes bacteria which can be a good thing. More than 400 types of bacteria live in the human digestive system. Many of these bacteria types are good bacteria or probiotics. They help the digestive system to do their job. How do probiotics help? They aid in digestion by breaking down the sugars. They keep the harmful microorganisms in check. That is, they don't allow them to multiply. And they produce vitamins, especially B vitamins and K vitamins are produced in the large intestine, and that helps and the probiotics help in the nutrient absorption. So as I told you earlier in the introduction, probiotics is being defined by WHO as live microorganisms which, when administered in adequate amounts, confer a health benefit on the host. And the first time probiotics was coined by Lilly and Stinwell in the year 1965. It is expressed as substances secreted by one microorganism that stimulates another microorganism. That is probiotic. According to Parker in the year 1974, probiotics is defined as organisms and substances that have a beneficial effect on the host animal by contributing to its intestinal microbial balance. According to Fuller in 1989, he has defined probiotics as live microbial feed supplement which beneficially affects the host animal by improving its intestinal microbial balance. So now let's see the history of probiotics. In the beginning of the 20th century, the Russian Nobel laureate Ilyich Mechanov suggested the possibility to replace the harmful bacteria with useful bacteria and modify the gut flora. He proposed that aging is due to putrefactive, that is proteolytic bacteria, which produce toxic substances. Henry Tisser of Pasteur Institute isolated bifidobacteria from stools of a breastfed infant and named it as Bacillus bifidus communis. He also observed clinical benefits like treating diarrhea for infants with bifidobacteria and displacement of the proteolytic bacteria. See, you will understand that whenever there is a harmful bacteria, if that is replaced with useful bacteria, then that problem gets solved. So you get cured. So what are the strains of probiotics? Microbes used as probiotics are lactic acid bacteria, otherwise called lab, and bifidobacteria. Certain yeast and bacilli also may be used. Probiotics are commonly used as part of fermented foods with specially added active live cultures. What are the various Lactobacillus species? You have lots of them: Lactobacillus acidophilus, Plantarum, Casei, Lactobacillus acidophilus, Lactobacillus paracasei, and there are umpteen number of Lactobacillus in our system. You will see here bifidobacterium species are Bifidum adolescentis, Bifidum longum, Infantis, Brevi. The others are Saccharomyces boulardii, Streptococcus thermophilus, and Bacillus coagulans. See, these are the few strains. You can just see it pictorially. So how does the intestinal ecosystem balance itself? The gastrointestinal tract constitutes the second largest body surface. You see there is a tennis court. So your intestinal system is as big as a tennis court. If you just make it flat, it's all whirled up, coagulated. Now if you can open it out, the normal digestive system is the size of a tennis court. The normal lifetime of a microorganism is around 60 tons. When 60 tons of food pass through this canal, the entire lifetime is many seconds or minutes as the food passes through the system. The human intestinal microflora is very, very important because it gives lots of health benefits to the host. So you see here the intestinal microflora starting from the stomach. There is lactobacilli, then you have the duodenum, then there you have streptococci lactobacilli, and then in the ileum, colon, and appendix you have lots of these microorganisms that we just discussed above. The vaginal microflora is another thing that you should know. That is less complex than the gastrointestinal microflora, but the normal vaginal microflora of a premenopausal woman has variety of bacterial species. Anaerobes frequently isolated at 10 to the power of 7 to 10 to the power of 9 CFU per ml of vaginal secretion. Lactobacillus maintains balance of the normal vaginal flora. Then the next thing is the newborn infants also have probiotics. Newborn intestinal microflora, it depends on the mother's microbiota, that is the maternal, vaginal and intestinal flora. It is a source. How do the infant or the newborn baby get the probiotics? It's from the mother. The mother's microbiota is a source of bacteria colonizing the intestine intestine of a newborn. And the mode of delivery is the birth environment. Vaginal delivery permits transfer of bacteria from the mother to the infant, whereas cesarean delivery's transfer is completely absent. Colonized with flora from the hospital's environment, we will have number of anaerobic bacteria, especially bacterioids. Their flora may differ from maternal flora. So here you will understand that normal delivery promotes the transfer of microbiota from the mother to the infant. Initial colonizing bacteria vary with the food source of the infant. The breastfed infants have bifidobacteria in the extent of 90% of the total intestinal bacteria. The presence of specific anti-infective proteins such as immunoglobulin A, lactoferrin, lysozyme and oligosaccharides produce lactic acid, and this causes an acid milieu, main reason for its bifidogenic characteristic. And you should understand that whenever food has to be digested, there should be an acid medium. In bottle-fed infants, enterobacteria and gram-negative organisms dominate because of an alkaline milieu and the absence of prebiotic modulatory factors present in the breast milk. So, bottle-fed infants do not have adequate amount of probiotics when compared to the breastfed infants. So, here we are going to see the impact of probiotic bacteria on the microflora. You will see how probiotics are having a role on the microflora. You will see how probiotics have a competition for nutrients and how probiotics can help in increasing their number and destroying or nullifying the effect of the harmful bacteria. You will see the bioconversion here, and then the production of growth substrates, competitive exhaustion, then barrier function, disease antagonism. So, you will see throughout the small intestine and the large intestine, there is a constant competition between the probiotics, that is the beneficial bacteria, and the harmful or the pathogenic bacteria that is already entering inside our system. So, this competition is such that the probiotics should be more than the harmful bacteria. Only then the amount of beneficial bacteria will increase in our system, and that will ensure good gut health. Health benefits and the benefits of probiotics. Now we are going to see one more thing, that's the antimicrobial effects of probiotics. Modifying the microflora to suppress the pathogens. As I was telling you, we all have a number of disease-producing microorganisms inside our system. In order to combat that, we should have a modification in the microflora so that the useful bacteria are more than the harmful. So here you will see antibacterial substances, that is organic acids, hydrogen peroxide and bacteriocins, which inhibit the growth of gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. So the probiotics that we take through our food will produce certain organic acids and other things which will kill or which will inhibit the growth of the harmful bacteria, and also it reduces the colonic pH, production of volatile short chain fatty acids, mainly acetates, propionates and butyrates, lactic acid, bifidobacterium and bacteria like streptococcus are being inhibited because the pH of the colon is being reduced. So this pH is reduced because of the presence of the probiotics. So probiotics have an antimicrobial effect on the pathogenic bacteria. And you can also see how the probiotics will compete with the pathogens. What are pathogens? Pathogens are disease-producing microorganisms, and that prevents the adhesion to the intestine. Intestine is prone to any of the microorganisms. It can be either pathogens or it can be the beneficial bacteria. But the beneficial bacteria, when they compete with the pathogens, they will find more entry into the colon when compared to the pathogens. Thereby they promote gut health. And they also compete for nutrients necessary for pathogen survival. Pathogens also should survive, and they too need food. But if that food is being taken by the probiotics, then they will not be able to survive, they will die. So the number of pathogens will reduce. And also probiotics have an anti-toxic effect, that is they produce certain toxic effects and which will kill or which will inhibit the growth of the pathogens. Now, what is the effect of probiotics on the intestinal epithelium? The probiotics will promote tight contact between the epithelial cells, forming a functional barrier. What does that mean? A functional barrier means it is like a wall between the undesirable microorganisms and the intestine. So it forms a barrier so that the pathogens cannot enter the intestine. Only if the pathogens enter the intestine, there will be all sorts of gut disorders like colon cancer, diarrhea, many of the colonic diseases. If there is a barrier, then it cannot, the pathogens or the disease producing microorganisms cannot enter the epithelium. So that function is being done by the probiotics. Probiotics also reduces the secretory and inflammatory consequences of bacterial infection. In case there is already a bacterial infection, it will prevent its consequence. And also probiotics enhance the production of defensive molecules such as mucins. They produce mucins which will prevent or which will kill the pathogens, that is the disease producing microorganisms. What are the immune effects of probiotics? Probiotics function as vehicles to deliver the anti-inflammatory molecules to the intestine. Probiotics function in many ways. One, they don't allow the pathogens to enter because they are adhering very tightly to the intestine. Second, they produce certain mucins and other antibacterial substances which will prevent the growth. Here you are seeing they are functioning as a vehicle to deliver the anti-inflammatory molecules to the intestine, which means they are not subjected to the inflammation. They also enhance the signaling in host cells to reduce the inflammatory response. Then they switch in immune response to reduce the allergy. Probiotics also reduce the production of inflammatory substances. So you will see here, in many ways, probiotics inhibit the adherence of the pathogenic microorganisms to enter our system. See, briefly you will see the health benefits of the probiotics. You are seeing the probiotics in the center, then you have the immunomodulation, normalized intestinal microbial composition, control of irritable bowel syndrome. Then in microbiota you will see how they control the inflammatory bowel diseases. Then you will see they alleviate the food allergy symptoms in infants. They strengthen the innate immunity, Probiotics lower the serum cholesterol levels. They improve the lactose tolerance. You will see that many children suffer from lactose intolerance. The amount of probiotics taken by the child will improve the lactose tolerance. And you will see probiotics have many metabolic effects also. So here you will see that probiotics can suppress the endogenous pathogens by antibiotic associated diseases like diarrhea, and suppression of exogenous pathogens, that is traveler's diarrhea, then reduction of risk factors for colon cancer. So on the whole, you will see how probiotics, though they are not very conspicuous, the live microorganisms present inside your system, which you obtain through the food that you eat, can provide multifaceted roles. Multifarious functions are there. And probiotics not only help in the gut health, but they also help in the entire health of the human system. The other amazing benefits of using probiotics include they aid in digestion, they improve the resistance to allergies, they fight against yeast and fungal infections, they prevent constipation and diarrhea. Probiotics help to fight urinary tract infections. They help to improve the liver function, they improve the absorption of nutrients, they alleviate or they prevent bloating and heartburn, they prevent skin problems, they reduce the accumulation of cholesterol and plaque in the arteries, that is, they will help in the prevention of all the cardiovascular diseases. It improves the lactose digestion, especially lactose intolerance, improves tolerance to antibiotics, maintains a balanced pH level, helps to maintain normal hormone balance and assists in detoxification, enhances mental clarity, helps regulate activity of the bowels, inhibits formation of tumors, enhances the calcium metabolism, helping to prevent osteoporosis. So on the whole, you see umpteen number of functions which is rendered by probiotics. So again, illustration of the health benefits. For digestive system, how does probiotic help? Taking probiotics can repopulate the digestive tract with healthful bacteria, improving the digestive management. Probiotics can be helpful for people with irritable bowel syndrome or IBS. How does it help in immunity? 20% of the immune system is in your digestive tract. Probiotics can help maintain a healthy immune system by increasing lymphocytes and production of marker of immune response. How does it help in preventing allergies? In a study, women who took probiotics during pregnancy saw a 30% reduction in the instance of childhood eczema, which can be an early symptom of allergy. So this is prevented when you take adequate amount of probiotics. How probiotics can help in obesity? There is a growing body of scientific evidence which suggests that probiotic bacteria may potentially hold the key to not only a better understanding of weight gain, but also how to prevent it. So an adequate amount of probiotics are there, the appetite is a little bit hindered, therefore the chance for obesity is lesser. And also probiotics plays an important role in urinary health. Regular probiotic consumption can help prevent bad bacteria from invading the urinary tract by maintaining a population of healthy bacteria. Last but not the least, the probiotics reduces lactose intolerance. Active bacteria cultures have been shown to aid in reducing intolerance to lactose found in dairy products. You will see that many children, many babies are suffering from lactose intolerance, and the only remedy is to give adequate amount of probiotics, which is naturally present in some foods and inherently present inside our system, which can fight against the harmful bacteria and help in the lactose tolerance. Now we shall see what are the fermented products containing lactic acid bacteria or the probiotics. Yogurt, that is simple curd, cheese, fermented milk, pickled vegetables, fermented soybeans such as tempeh and miso, kefir, that is special yogurt prepared from soy, buttermilk, sauerkraut, soy sauce and soy beverages, juices, all these are food products which contain the probiotics. Just think whether you are taking any of these products during the day. It is absolutely necessary that we take probiotics to maintain good health. What are the factors affecting the microflora balance? Again, diet, the climate, aging process, medication, maybe we are taking some antibiotics, illness and stress, the pH of the intestine, infection, the location where we are, the socio-economic circumstances and the lifestyle. All this affect the microflora balance. Now we have been talking so much about probiotics. How much should we take? What is the daily recommended allowance for probiotics? It depends on the growth characteristics of the probiotic species specific, and it's dependent on the amount ingested and duration of administration. The greater the bacterial imbalance in the digestive system, the higher the dosage required for the positive and measurable results. In case you have an intestinal problem, you have some disease condition, then the amount of probiotics has to increase. Every day you have to take probiotics, but in a normal level. But whenever you have an infection, maybe fever or cold, cough or any other problem, the amount of probiotics should increase. There is a misconception that when you have cold or fever, you don't take curd at all. But there's a misconception, it's a food fad. You have to take curd because that has the live microorganisms or probiotics. Appropriate dosage of probiotics need to be determined individually. So now to conclude, we have been talking a lot about probiotics, the food sources, what are the beneficial effects of probiotics, what are the health benefits, and how much we should take to prevent many diseases. Now it is our turn to make a decision whether we are taking probiotics or not. Probiotics are available at low cost, low risk, and it prevents infection and diseases, not only the gut infection, but also other infections, other diseases like cardiovascular disease, urinary infection, liver diseases, many other diseases from head to foot, whatever may be a problem. The answer to it is taking adequate amount of probiotics, and you can take probiotics at low cost, low risk. It's a low risk layer of protection from infection and disease. And the only thing that I can recommend for you as students is make it a point to take curd every day, because that's the only one which is available. Don't keep the curd in the refrigerator, because again the microorganisms growth will be decreased. So it is initial ways when your grandmother and others, they had starter milk and they added some starter curd and then they added some milk to make it a fermented curd. That is the best way to have lots of microorganisms in it and take it as such. Don't take curd immediately from the refrigerator, because that will not contain the probiotics. So I hope all of you will make a decision today to take adequate amount of probiotics in your diet so that you have a healthy life.